got Cindy from Hamilton in New Zealand versus Corey from Auckland here. So, I mean, only about a couple of hours drive, so when the bigger regionals start happening, I suspect that these players have definitely seen each other quite a lot in the tournament scenes. Yeah, stop me if you've heard this one. We see Snake Eyes Ash go for Poplar. Poplar being able to search for the Divine Temple.
Definitely very happy to be going first as a Snake Eye player. You don't want to fall victim to the branded who are known for summoning the gimmick puppet, which prevent you from special summoning, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Gimmick Puppet of Nightmare. It's got a passive effect. As soon as it hits the field, your opponent can no longer special summon cards other than Gimmick Puppets for the rest of the turn. So, yeah, it's an honorary branded card at this point. I think it's been used way more than any sort of Gimmick Puppet deck has ever used it here.
So Cindy's definitely very happy to go first. He's able to fly through his combos. The Salamangre Sunlight Wolf there. No forms of interaction from Corey. But that does go back to what we were saying earlier in that because there are so many cards that are pivotal to the strategy, it does become difficult for you to find room to play meaningful interaction cards. Sometimes you'll have to go with the strategy where you just let them do what they do and then try to pick it apart.
Exactly right. So we're going through everything here. Looks like Cine has had to sack off his Divine Temple there. And it's going through now, attributing the Lamberge Dragon for the original Sinful Sin. And here we go.
There's a Fire King Island, so he's going to be able to tap into the Fire King portion of his deck.
Definitely. Bridge across, there goes Celine there. 3 spells, nice and easy count for those counters. Bring back the Black Witch.
Again, both two players who are very well known in the community. They've definitely earned their stripes among the community, and the Sinners are showing it by how fast he's just going through his plays.
Yeah. Corey, no slouch as well. He is following this along with his eyes. He knows exactly what's going on. He is going to be very familiar with how this match is going to go down.
Definitely play. I've definitely seen Corey a lot over the last, well over 10 years now. So he's definitely one who knows a lot of the cards and how they interact. And you would have to if you're playing something that's not the deck to beat in the room. When you're choosing to play something that's not the most popular deck, you're prepared to be playing against the most popular deck.
Now we see Ambler Whale co-linked with the Appaloosa, IP Masquerena, and a Flamberge Dragon. Flamberge putting a Vata into the Spell and Trap card zone. And still a full, is that 3, possibly even 4 cards in Cine's hand? Maybe even 2. I'm seeing double here.
And we see the Zealantis from the Ambler Whale, so the Ambler Whale will be able to trigger its effect later in the graveyard.
Exactly, and more importantly as well, that Zealantis is co-linked to the Appaloosa, Goddess of the Bow there, meaning that's going to be even deadlier in the battle phase.
We'll be able to destroy up to 2 cards, and possibly more if Corey ends up summoning a monster that co-links onto the Appaloosa. See a handful of monsters and 1 spell for Corey.
Sounds like a typical branded hand in all honesty, but that's not going to help against Appaloosa, Goddess of the Bow.
Corey will just go straight into the battle phase. This forces a lot of thinking from Cine. Whether it's an evenly match or, more importantly, a perceived evenly match.
Yeah, definitely. He's just been trying to scare him a little, and this is forcing plays from Cine. He might not even have anything. Maybe before he even goes to the battle phase, he's going to just be like, cool, in your main phase, triple tactic talents or something like that. And yes, there we go. There's the thrust there.
It's a very shiny triple tactics thrust. Ultimate rare.
It's beautiful indeed.
Look in his hand. He's got to make sure he knows exactly what he wants to add.
If he didn't have the evenly matched before, he can definitely search for it now.
It'd be a strange proposition to play evenly matched in your branded deck. While it is amazing going second, generally with the deck, you're trying to go first to be able to set up your plays. So, is that a fusion deployment?
I believe it's a branded fusion.
Branded
so
fusion.
A very pretty thrust adds a very pretty branded fusion to its end.
And we do know that branded fusion is a card to beat. With that is a Lubellion.
Lubellion's being discarded here, possibly searching for a Saronir, most likely. And Appaloosa is negating. That's going to be one negation down for Cine there. There comes the Brand Diffusion. Does he have the Ash Blossom? Nope, it's free to resolve by the looks of it.
Here we see the Fallen of Valbaz, also a very shiny one.
Valbaz is absolutely mandatory, but what's the other monster that he's going to send to the graveyard? Sending the Bestial Saronir to the graveyard. It's the standard line you normally go with the branded if you don't have any dark monsters already on your field like an Alba. So he's going straight for that Lubellion there.
Lubellion's effect will activate, allowing him to fusion summon again.
Yep, so discard the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. And I believe he is going to chain block that by activating the Saronir's effect in graveyard. So surely he's got something else to send to the graveyard there.
A very good decision. Oh, there's an infinite permanent, so that construction of the chain links to be able to play around cards like Appaloosa doesn't even matter too much.
Corey picking up his deck there, ready to resolve that Saronir. Sending the branded Retribution to the graveyard there. Corey makes it to the next turn. That is going to be vital for him to replace some resources back into his hand. And we see the normal summon of the Aluba here.
Aluba. Corey's hand was quite a number of plays. Unfortunately, there was the Gimmick Puppet, but
he still managed to put a bit of pressure on this board here. He does have some... Lubellion's got 2,500 attack and Alba has 1,800 attack, so nothing to really sniff at too much, but unfortunately Sinisa here has still got quite a lot of points of interaction.
it's almost like picking apart at a puzzle. You've got your opponents, the monsters. There's still an IP Masquerena on the field, and you're trying to navigate through that. But it's going to be very challenging, given that the IP and the Flamberge are still there. They can potentially link off into an SP Little Knight to banish a monster or any card, really.
Exactly right. And that Flamberge is going to just bring back Snake Eyes Ash and a Snake Eyes Poplar once again.
And that's going to refuel the amount of monsters he has.
Yeah, and even give fuel for that Havata to activate its effect.
Absolutely. It looks like he's going to activate the Masquerena. And we see a Nightmare Phoenix. And like you said previously, this should enable him to draw a card. Does Nightmare Phoenix point to the right?
Yes, it does. So he discards a Flamberge Dragon out of his hand. And I think... no, he's just rearranged his graveyard to resolve the Flamberge Dragon first, so going for Ash and Oak. And the Nightmare Phoenix has destroyed a Fusion Duplication. Corey hoping to capitalize by the Brand of Fusion in his graveyard.
Did he draw a card off the Nightmare Phoenix?
I think he has. That's why he's got the one card left. And now, now New Chain, I think this is where he's going to be resolving his Ash effect. Potentially.
It's a full suite of 6 monsters on Cine's side of the field.
Okay, maybe he's got nothing left. It doesn't matter when you've got that many bodies on the field there.
But when you have 6 monsters, it's a lot of options you have available to you in your extra deck. It's any combination of link monsters you would like to play.
Exactly, and the ability to co-link them up with that Zealantis as well, just to put even more damage on the field. But we see 3 monsters going away, and a very shiny, is that a quarter century
Access code?
access code talker?
You can tell that these players are very passionate about their decks, given how high rarity their cards are.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we all have that pet deck where we like to have it in its shiniest form.
Exactly, yeah. That's me with Cyber Dragons all the way.
That is a testament of how long you've been in this game.
Calling me old, mate. No, you're all good.
And part of the furniture, as they say.
Oh, something like that, at least. Anyway. Oh, the second trap was yet another fusion duplication there, so chanting that to activate. Finishing the branded fusion. Here we go.
You target one fusion or polymerization spell in either graveyard, banish it, and then apply that spell's effect. So it came out just over a year ago, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. It is only a common as well, but it's a very powerful common in this branded strategy. Got the artwork up on the screen here now.
So is that what's the card called? Scientist? Mad Scientist? No.
Mad Scientist. He's got a name, and I'm absolutely like...
It's absolutely slipping my mind right now.
Kazaki. Oh no, is that Magical Scientist, or is that Kazaki?
We got to brush up on our Yu-Gi-Oh lore.
Oh god.
But
the deep lore that is fusion duplication.
Magical Scientist is one that summons fusions by paying 1,000 life points. It could, be relevant to the fusion duplication sort of.
That would make a lot more sense then. I know there is a little interaction between Kazaki and Magical Scientist here, but anyway, we're not here to discuss that. We're here to watch.
We do see the Sanctified Dragon now.
This is too little too late on Corey's side, though. The only saving grace about Sanctifier is that it cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects.
Yep. See the high Avatar Garunix?
Destroying Kirin, and then I think Corey's green cards and monster cards. So spells and monsters, good place for Corey to start here. He is indeed starting. And starting with a normal summon Cartesia.
Branded opening.
Yep, branded opening. Cartesia is a quick effect to fusion summon, so any Despia monster that he summons off the branded opening is going to be able to dodge any sort of targeted negation like an infinite impermanence or an effect veiler, something to that effect, because of that Cartesia being able to fusion summon it off the field first.
In Alubar.
Alubar gets to resolve, adds branded fusion.
That's what we like to see. I see the crossout designator, is it?
I believe it is.
Not that he needs it, there is no Ash Blossom on City's side. It's Fallen of Albaz.
Oh, this is going completely through. Corey's got to be very happy with this.
There's the Rebellion getting sent. We're going to see Albion come out.
Albion using the Alubar and the Albaz in the graveyard there, banishing those, and that'll become Rebellion.
Rebellion.
Discarding the Spriggan's Kit.
Spriggan Kit, another card in the very deep lore they have. Mirror Jade.
Jade, very standard live play here indeed.
Mirror Jade also being a point of interaction. Now we're sending that Albion to summon back the Lubellion to add Saranir.
No, and this interaction, Lubellion's going to be getting one of the branded continuous spells and setting it straight to the field. So Branded lost.
Branded lost, that's the one.
And while it doesn't look like a lot on Corey's side of the field, there are so many points.
Branded lost, the activation of cards and effects, and if that summon a fusion monster can't be negated, and they cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is summoned that way. If you fusion summon a fusion monster, you can add one Fallen of Albaz or one monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. And we see the Mercuria.
Mercuria added off the Branded lost here.
Mercuria is also a point of interaction from the hand.
And Grand Guignol will be sending the
Titanic Lad. And I believe that's a cross-out designator that's being set. And the end phase of Titanic Lad will also have an effect.
As well as that Albion that gets sent to the graveyard as well. This is what we call the main phase 3 in Branded speak. Titanic Lad, special summoning Quem. Quem resolves her effect to send Fallen of Albaz to the graveyard. And we're resolving the Albion here. Albion should be going for the tried and true. Branded and red. Sitting card. And we are passing play to Sydney here.
Two spells and 4 monsters. Starts the turn with...
I believe it's a Bonfire. Or is that Wanted?
Looks like a Wanted. Man, we missed a 50-50 so often. And that's a Dear Bellstar sending another Dear Bellstar. Setting the original Sinful Spoils. I see the Branded in red.
Original Sinful Spoils being a normal spell. It can't activate at this time, so I think Corey's going to go for a Guardian Chimera line to try and get it off the field before Cine has a chance to activate it here.
Looks like you're going for the Sanctifier.
Ooh, baby.
We'll activate the Branded Lost.
Lost. Because of Branded Lost, Cine is not actually able to interact with all this because it's all in the response to the successful fusion summon of a monster here. Graham is going to bring back the Cartesia, which I believe should prompt a summon into yet another Grand Guignol. Is that a Kirin activating on Cine's side?
Does look like a Kirin. There we see the other Grand Guignol.
That's right. Sending the Gimmick Puppet here.
Yep, and then Sanctify will be able to target 2 monsters in any graveyard, special summon both monsters 1 to each zone.
Branded Lost's effect is not activating anymore, but it doesn't matter, looking like it's going to resolve. Yep, see Gimmick Puppet go to Cine's side of the field, and Albion go to Corey's side of the field.
I think they were just checking if he gets to choose the positions.
So now has a spell and a monster in hand, a face-down original Sinful Spoils, which he cannot activate because of the restriction of Gimmick Puppet Nightmare.
Yep, sets 2 cards. Yep, and he passes his turn. I think Corey drew the regular Albion for turn. He does.
That's fine. At this point in the game, if he's using...
Oh, was it? Sorry, Albion was searched off lost. It was just the first card I was able to see when you showed his hand, so in that position I thought that he'd drawn it.
That's fine. He's able to set up his graveyard by sending Retribution, and because he uses its effect in hand, draw a card. It's like an upstart goblin, but for branded. Retribution now banishing itself to grab a branded spell or trap from the graveyard back to Corey's hand.
He was hovering over the red, now he's taking the fusion. Decides to go with the red.
It's probably a bit more tempting in this sort of situation because it is a quick play. You can use it in response to any of Cine's back row monsters or anything on the field here.
All the branded fusion monsters have roughly 2,500 attack, is that correct?
Yep, that's right. Most of them do. The Grand Ganoa has 2,500 attack. The Sanctify has 3,000. I believe the Mirror Jade also has 3,000. And the Lubellion has 2,500 attack as well. So Gimmick Puppet Nightmare only has 2,000 defense, so that gets destroyed. Lubellion now declaring an attack on the Kirin.
I think the Sony is trying to push as much damage as he can.
Jade effect activates, sending Rindabrum to the graveyard and banishing the
Dear Bellstar.
Dear Bellstar on resolution there. Mirror Jade not being a targeting effect.
Which is important because if you adjust your field, you can just change whatever you end up banishing.
That's correct. And now still in the battle phase, we see that Brandon Red drop down. So this is going to allow Corey to fusion summon during the battle phase.
Using Quem and the Rinbrom? Oh no, the Grand Guinal.
Grand Guinal, yep. That is into Despian Coroidus. Coroidus declaring attack on the Kirin there. Kirin effect activates. Coroidus' effect to reduce everything on the field outside of level 8 or higher fusion monsters can only be activated in the main phase, but it's just a nice body with like very minimal like fusion requirements there, requiring only a Despia monster or a light or a dark monster there.
There's an Avada.
Popping the Lubellion. Mirror Jade attack, destroying the Avata, which brings out the Kirin, and then we have the last monster on Corey's side, destroying the Kirin there, the Sanctifier Dragon.
Sanctifier's effect to special summon from the graveyard is once per turn during the opponent's turn. So it's going to be very hard for him to be able to stop this from happening, I believe. What your options are like Forbidden Droplets.
Yeah, exactly. And that would have to be Forbidden Droplet already set on Cine's side of the field, and he has to draw into it. But it's a wanted set, so I think everything is known on Cine's side of the field now. Black Witch in hand, wanted in the graveyard. The original Sinful Spoils set face down. With Sanctifier unable to be targeted. Yep.
3 cards and 1 monster on Corey's side.
So Cine looks like he's about to be able to go fully into this combo here with a normal summon Snake Eye Ash and no response from Corey. Not even a twitch of the hand, so maybe he's got no interaction this turn.
Yeah, we see the Poplar come out. Divine Temple gets added. We get played. Options are likely Dear Bellstar, that's being put into the Spell and Trap zone.
That's Oak.
That's Oak instead. Chooses Oak.
Please make your way to tables 109 down. Shane will direct you into your selected group of 8.
We bring out Flamebird here, so he's obviously looking to I think the
Sorry,
Flamebird
Sydney's playing the Fire King variant. He doesn't have the Snake Idea Bellstorm. That's my bad.
Absolutely no room for that.
Please hit to tables 109 down. Shane will organize you. Thank you.
Something between the heater and the play before where he's Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Looks like he's choosing between them.
Yep, Sunlight Wolf. Let's trigger the Flamebird here. Snake Eyes Ash, Oak special summoning the Poplar. Poplar's effect is what put the Flamebird's Dragon into the spell and trap card zone there.
Yep. And again, we see him playing cards in zones 1, 3, and 5 to play around any potential relinquished anima, even though it's not a card that you play in the branded deck.
So we see this play again. Because he's playing the Fire King cards, his strategy doesn't really rely on having that temple remain on the field there. Setting it off.
And this will get his Ponix, which will let him access the Fire King portion of his deck.
Good. Continuous spell here. Name escapes me, but it's that card there that allows him to put...
Fire King Sanctuary, might be.
Yes, that's the one. And it puts the Fire King Island on the field, as well as provides some sort of protection effects for the...
Yeah, so Fire King Sanctuary, when it's activated, you can place one Fire King Island from the deck to the face-up. In this field zone, once per turn, if a card in your field zone would be destroyed, you can destroy one fire monster in your hand or face-up field instead. And once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can immediately XZ summon one Fire XYZ monster using only Fire King monsters you control.
Sinisa going through a bit long procession of combos here, going from his Fire King, Snake Eyes engine into his Fire King engine now.
The Garunix.
Running dangerously close to time. 12 minutes only left on the clock here.
But Cine has been flying through his plays, so you can see that even if you do, the combos just take a fair bit of time.
Yeah, nobody can accuse him of slow playing here at all. It's just a lot of really interactive cards here, going back and forth.
So a full board of 6 monsters. The Sunlight Wolf did trigger previously as monster was summoned to a zone it was pointing to. Yep. Promethean Princess comes out, summoning back the Avada. Looks like he's looking to move on to summoning the Ambler Whale, which he does.
There it is.
And a Zealantis might be showing up soon.
Yep. It's no longer locked into only being able to special summon fire monsters by the Promethean Princess here. Send those two off, and IP Masquerader comes down. I think that's an infinite permanence that might be set. Shuffling up, turn over, do your worst, it's Cine.
And he passes.
Plays to Corey. Corey, show us what you got, buddy. Show us why you made it all the way to top 16 so far.
A monster for turn, I believe, so it's 4 spells. 4 spells, 2 monsters. We see the evenly matched from Corey.
Sheesh. Absolutely.
He's been down this road before. He knows exactly what to get rid of. And now he's got to choose what he wants to keep. We do note that this happens in the battle phase, so Corey will not have access to his battle phase, and there are 10 minutes on the clock. We know that branded combos do take a fair amount of time, so he will be playing against the clock as well.
Exactly. But Corey, being a branded player, does have access to the Despian Masquerade Dragon, which I believe, has a continuous effect that means that Sinisa has to pay 600 life points for every card he activates here. Is he playing the Masquerade Dragon?
Oh, yep, there's definitely one in the side deck.
That definitely would have come in, especially game 3. Why wouldn't he? Fusion deployment, revealing Ranganol and special summoning Cartesia straight out of the deck here. This is all in main phase 2. Going to prompt the Promethean Princess. Sinisa certainly thinks it might.
Is that a call by the grave in Corey's hand that I saw?
Definitely one of the many green cards in his. And there definitely looks like a thrust. So Corey signals that he's going to be activating the effect of Cartesia here.
And Albaz. Yep, so it looks like he will be summoning Albion, is it? He's looking at.
Yep, Albion. And with Cartesia and Albaz in the graveyard, he is free to fusion summon into Granganol Dragon now. Virgil has gone to the graveyard, just prompted the special summon of Oak and Ash. Ash adding an Ash.
The Sinners are setting up for his next turn, which is going to be pivotal, as it could potentially be the last turn of this game and match.
Again, we're seeing the sportsmanship of both these players here. Such a high pressure, high stakes situation, but both having a bit of a giggle, smiles on their faces.
We see the triple tactics toss. We saw how powerful it was earlier.
Thrust is going through, and because there are indeed monsters on Sneeze's field, Corey is able to add the card to his hand, which is a Brand of Fusion, straight to the field. Ash Blossom, do you have it, Sinisa?
So earlier, how we ended on this field, Avada was used to negate the effect of Albion by destroying the Flambersion hand. Oh, now we've seen so yet the Brand Fusion resolve, sending Fallen of Albaz.
What's he thinking about here? What do you do? You've already attempted to use Albion this turn, so you have to go for something high impact. Gimmick Puppet goes down, so this prompting the Lebellion, surely. Lebellion summons. Corey has to discard one of the green cards. Show us it's a second copy of Fusion Deployment by the looks.
Again, we have just over 5 minutes left in the round, and we are in the main phase 2 of the branded player.
We're here looking at the graveyard before he makes his very important indeed selection of what fusion to make. Using the Lubellion and the Elbaz there to make the Murrajade Dragon of the Ice Barrier.
Just want as many points of interaction as you can. One spell left in Corey's hand. Did you see what it was?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
Okay, if you're still in the room, we're going to do the raffle now. We're going to do 4 random draws.
Yep, this will prompt Sinister to use the Promethean Princess from his graveyard, destroying appears to be the Avada and the Mirrorjade. Oh, that was the call by the grave.
Good eyes. Promethean Princess is banished. It is unable to be used this turn as well as next turn if Sinisa decides that he wants to run 2 of them. Probably not, though.
Yep, Corey did summon his monsters in attack position.
Henry Lamb. Henry Lamb here.
Sprint comes down, prompting the special summon of Grunix here.
Yep, so you can special summon it, and if it's normal special summon, you can destroy 1 fire, beast, beast warrior, wing beast in your hand deck or face up field, and if you do, it gains attack equals to half the destroyed monster's attack.
Sinisa here just pushing for damage now. Murrajade sending Titanic Lad and banishing the Avata. Titanic Lad will be special summoning a Fallen of Albaz or a Spellcaster.
You need to get rid of that Avada, as the Avada is a point of interaction as well.
Indeed it is.
And this one is a nail biter. We're going really down to the wire.
Just over 2 minutes on the clock here.
Sinister needs to push out any points of damage, otherwise we will head to turns, which I believe in Top Cut is 3 turns.
I believe it is, and if there's still no change in life points, it continues by a turn-by-turn basis there until like
There's an adjustment in life points.
Alright, so you guys, I was at 4. Please head to see any judge.
Special summons Quim to the field. Quim sending Cartesia. Cartesia able to add herself back to hand because a fusion monster has gone to the graveyard this turn.
Just over 1 minute on the clock.
Sneak's going to do go straight to battle phase, just hit over the top.
Yep. Summon Heater.
Yeah, Quim can activate her effect this turn. Now, a monster has left the extra deck.
48 seconds.
There's an Elbaz in graveyard though. Corey is able to special summon Elbaz and activate Elbaz's effect. Discarding that Cartesia in his hand there. Using the Grunix, this is going to go for a Rindabrom. So there we go, Grunix is off the field now.
20 seconds on the clock.
Sinisa has to push.
Using the Oak's effect. Summon a Flame Burge.
From hand, 3, 2, 1, if you're counting down at home, and I believe we're at time now.
The end of match procedures will kick in. Yep, so Piers, the judge, is advising the players of the end of match procedure.
Brilliant stuff. So we just confirmed with the judge on how it's going to go. So they're currently in Sneesa's main phase 1. They're going to be able to, Sneesa is going to be able to continue the current phase. If there's still no change in life points, as per the tournament policy, he is allowed to complete his turn during the end phase. If there is still no change in life points, it will now move to Corey's turn on a turn-by-turn basis, checking life points during the end phases there.
Yep, so I believe that Sinizar has a lot of options available to him. He knows he has this turn to be able to push out as much damage as, or just any amount of damage realistically.
And with 4 Snake Eyes bodies on the field as well as a heater, 1, 2, 3.
Is that an access code talker?
I believe it's access code talker there. And unfortunately that Rinbrum is not going to be able to stop the access code talker because access code talker says that your opponent may not respond. Corey telling Sneesa to read Rinbrum, and Sneesa responds with read my access code.
Yep.
Goes to battle phase, hits over the Albion.